Kevin Hunter here on the Business Forum Show, and my guest in studio is David Zicopula. And David is from Guardian Life, and you can contact his office at 952-446-3311. Again, 952-446-3311. Well, David, you do financial services, but there's a few differences in what you do and in what others have out there. So let's talk first of all, before you got involved in doing financial advising. You worked in corporate America. How'd that work out for you?
Not real well. I worked for a large corporation here in the Twin Cities for about 10 years, and in 2009 I got let go from there. And because the economy had tanked at that point, it took me about 9 months to find new work. And I never really felt like I fit in at Target, and I was kind of a number, and so it was actually ended up being a blessing that I got let go. But there was a lot of kind of false security and that kind of thing as well. But
sure, a lot of people in business get started doing what they're doing because somewhere along the line, a larger company or whoever said, hey, we don't need your services. Or had a gentleman in here the other day that his parent company told me he was too old to do his work anymore. So he started a business for himself 9 years ago. So you're thinking about, and now a very successful business person, you're going, wow, somebody else couldn't see that value? But anyway, so your story is actually very consistent with a lot of others that are out there. So your area of expertise is doing financial advice with Guardian Life here. And let's talk a little bit about some of the common pathways that people choose out there because, as you say, there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of people are misled, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Let's talk a little bit about what the common path is and how is it different, what you do.
Sure. I would say what most people are taught or told when they get their first job is to start investing in a 401k. And obviously doing that is not a bad thing necessarily in and of itself. The problem is it's not done in the right order. So what I teach people to do is look at protecting your paycheck first, because your paycheck is what funds that 401k. Your paycheck is what pays your mortgage. It puts food on your table. And if you don't have that protected, then you're just setting yourself up for failure in the future. So I teach people to make sure that they have their income protected. Once they have as much protection as they can, then start building up a liquid cash savings account. And I was guilty of this as well when I was at Target. I didn't do that. I started contributing to my 401k right away, and then when I let go, I didn't have anything I could fall back on. I didn't have any cash that I could pull out to pay my bills. So what did I do? I reached into my 401k and pulled it out, paid a penalty on it, paid taxes on it, because that was the only pot of money that I had. So I teach people not to do that. I teach people to build up a savings account, have 6 to 12 months of just liquid assets so that they can pull out to weather any storms that come up. Whether it's a layoff, whether it's a sickness, whether it's an injury where they can't work, they have that money set aside. Then once they have all of that stuff in place, that's when we start looking at long-term investing, 401ks, those types of things.
So for anybody who's out there that says, well, I don't really have a lot of extra income to think about in investing per se, or I've got to get these financial issues or these financial issues in order, before I can even think about investing. Actually, what you're doing is giving somebody advice on how to put themselves in the position to start that. So visit a little bit about that, because I think a lot of people's concerns are, that they have to wait until some date that's hypothetically down the road. And as you suggested, that's a little bit like saying, I need to get physically fit before I hire a trainer. Why should they get you involved now?
Absolutely, because what I do is I take a 30,000 foot view of their finances. So I look at all of the different areas, and I'm able to typically move stuff around to free up cash flow. So I help them be more efficient with what they're doing. So help them get, just switch and get a lower interest rate or whatever the case may be, or maybe there's stuff that they're paying for that they don't really need to because they don't understand how it works. So I'm able to free up a lot of cash flow that we can use to go towards putting more protection in place or putting more into savings, or if those are taken care of, then investing. I'm able to do that with, I would say, almost all of my clients, if not all of them. I'm able to free it up, whether they're living paycheck to paycheck or if they have extra money in the budget. I'm still able to go in and find additional money for them.
Do you find that a lot of families are in a bit of a financial crisis out there? The reason I ask the question is it's kind of interesting to look at, like, where's the where's the median income, like in a dual income household? Where's the median income in America? And when you even look at like where 75% of the earners are in this country, it's interesting to me that number is actually $69,000 a year and less. Do you see like a financial crisis out there that many people have? And if so, how do you help them deal with planning for their future then financially?
Yep, absolutely. I do see that. We actually, one of the statistics that we use is 10% of the Americans hold 90% of the wealth. Mm-hmm. And what's different about them is that they view money in a little bit different way. They don't chase some of these myths that are out there. They figured it out. So, I ask people often, who's the richest person you can think of, and I get Bill Gates very often. Mm-hmm. I can almost guarantee, if not guarantee, that he doesn't wake up on Saturday morning and say, I'm going to go down to Walgreens and buy Investment Weekly to figure out what I'm investing my next stock, what the next stock I'm investing in.
Yeah.
He does things differently, and that's what I do. Is I teach people to look at money in a different way and to do things a little bit different. That sometimes seems somewhat contradictory to what's out there, to what the media is saying, to what we call the talking heads, the Susie Ormans and the Dave Ramseys. A lot of times it seems a little bit contradictory to what they're doing, but if you actually look at the numbers, it really makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people in business deal with some kind of struggle or challenge in anything that they're doing. What would you say is your number one?
Obviously getting in front of more people, and I think the underlying challenge is one of the things that we talked about, just the fact that a lot of people think that they need to get their finances in order before they come and work with me. Mm-hmm. And the other thing, again, like I said, is some of the habits that people have gotten into. One of the things that I found is that most Americans are doing things in the wrong order, and we touched on it a little bit already. Mm-hmm. But what I find is that most people start with their net income, and they build their lifestyle off of that, and then they start adding liabilities to help maintain that lifestyle. So they take out car loans, they put stuff on credit cards, and then when you do that, there's little left over for saving. And so what I do is, again, I essentially want to sit down and show them that they need to do things in a little bit different order, and that will actually, it seems counterintuitive, but that will actually free up some money for them to use for other things.
Excellent. Excellent. Kevin Hunter here on the Business Forum Show. My guest is David Zicopula. And you can find David at Guardian Life. You can contact him at 952-446-3311. Again, the contact number 952-446-3311. And thanks for being on the show here with us today.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
I think some people learned something out there. Again, Kevin Hunter here on the Business Forum Show. Thanks for joining us.